With new information that has just been provided, is it possible that all the blame to Brian Johnson and Sean Desai are unfair, and they're actually one of the big reasons we're 10-2?
What is driving that? Somebody want what's on your plate. You're gonna let them take it, and don't put it just like that.
That's right, AJ Brown. That is right. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing. Hope you're hanging in there. I don't know about you guys. Well, I do kind of know about most of you guys. You are ready for this game versus the Cowboys. You cannot wait. There is so much at stake, and you just need this game to happen. The hated Cowboys want what's ours. They want to take it all from us. They want the quarterback MVP. They want the best wide receiver. They want the best defensive tackle. Now they want our division and our seeding. It has to end right now. I cannot wait to get this game going, man. I am pumped up, okay? Now, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on today, okay? So I'm just jumping into it. Forget about all the pleasantries and all that stuff. Listen. We are 10-2. We are 10-2, and the whole division, the whole conference is for our taking. All we have to do is win. We don't need help from anybody. We don't need nothing from anybody. And if you go and beat the Cowboys this week, you are going to win the whole conference. I'm totally sure of it. All right? Now, here's the thing. There has been a lot of scrutiny about Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, and oh God, Sean Desai and Brian Johnson, they got to get fired. They stink. I have even said things because I get very frustrated too with certain things. But a shout out to Big Sills. He might have really figured something out, because I was getting ready to go on his show the other day. I'll put a link in the description of the video, of when I was on, but I was just getting ready to go on a show, and he was having a text exchange with Eagles' former offensive coordinator, Frank Reich. And Frank Reich was explaining to him how they put the game plan together in Philly. And we are so quick to talk and blame Brian Johnson and to blame Sean Desai, but it may not be their fault. They actually may be helping us. They may actually be the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles are 10-2. What Frank Reich said was, what the Eagles do to formulate a game plan is the analytic department gets all the information, then they bring it to the coaches, and the coaches then, using the analytics primarily, put a game plan together. Now, if this is the case, this could explain all the problems that we have had in the first half. Don't you find it interesting that pretty much every game, regardless of the team we're playing, it always seems like we struggle in the first half? Always. And we always have the same game plan in the first half. And that is for the Eagles to come out throwing, and we do it every week. Every team knows we're going to do it. And it feels like every game we go into halftime struggling. We come out in the second half, we make adjustments, and all of a sudden, we look like a completely different team. And we're going, how can this team look so different between two halves? Well, and this could be the reason why, Big Sills might have figured it out. If the Eagles are primarily using analytics to come up with the game plan, they go into the game in the first half with that game plan they use analytics for. It stinks it up. It doesn't work. It says Gainwell in the second quarter for some reason, whatever. We go into halftime. Well, once you go into halftime and you have to make second half adjustments, guess what? The analytics department doesn't have time to go give you all this information and then go give it to coaches. The coaches have to rely on their football knowledge, on what they see, and they have to make proper adjustments. And guess what? Sean Desai and Johnson have done a good job in the second half. They have made, for the most part, not every game, but they have made good halftime adjustments. We may be really looking at a situation where these two guys do not deserve the criticism they're getting. And for that reason, I'm not going to criticize them anymore. I'm not. I'm going to wait and see how this thing plays out. Because coming off a loss to the 49ers, especially the way the Eagles lost, if they come in to this game versus Dallas, and their plan is to throw in the first half and do the same thing they always do, then I don't believe these coaches are being able to make a game plan based upon their knowledge of football, what the tape says, and what they see, and what they think, and more importantly, what they feel. Analytics, in a lot of ways, is ruining football. And I'm not somebody who's anti-analytics. I think analytics is one thing that you can use as information to figure out what players to draft, what kind of game plan you want to do, and things like that. But when it takes out the coach's eyes, the coach's knowledge, the coach's feel, it starts to hurt things. For example, you could have a team in a game it could be 4th and 2 at the 25, let's say. And if the analytics says that you should be going for that on that down, 4th and 2 at the 25, then teams go for it. And they could totally be up. They could be up 6 points. And they'll forego a field goal because analytics told them to, instead of taking the field goal and making it a 2-score game. Analytics, in a lot of ways, when it's overused, I think it hurts things. And I got to tell you, this makes a lot of sense. This makes a ton of sense because every week it's the same thing. I was watching that 49ers game. I could hear the announcers going, they're playing the pass on first down, and yet the Eagles keep throwing. And if analytics tells you to do that, they do it. And it makes sense on why we run the scheme we do. Analytics would probably tell you that you're better off losing by 1,000 paper cuts and hoping a team will make a mistake somewhere along the way than to take chances and be aggressive. Even though at times a coach can look and say, oh, this quarterback needs to be blitzed, we need to do this here, but because of the analytics, I can't do it. So if that's the case, then that's why we have struggled. And that's something that the Eagles are going to have to get rid of and not do as much this week. And this was part of the whole Frank Reich problems, I'm sure, and one of the reasons why maybe he left. Not Frank Reich, Doug Peterson. But this was from Frank Reich telling Sills what they do. I mean, Frank Reich was only here it was only a few years ago. 2017, we won a Super Bowl. Guess what else we did in 2017? We beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Do you know we have not beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas since 2017? That has to change. That has to change. You win this week. Most likely, I'm 90% sure you're getting that first seed. You lose this week, you're going to get the number 2 seed. So you've got to win this game, okay? And I feel actually pretty good about this game. But we're going to really find out, if the Eagles are making adjustments with the analytics. Now, I don't know that for 100% certainty that's what they're doing. That was only what was said from Reich to Sills. And if that's true, it is disturbing because you need the coaches to not just have to rely on analytics alone to make game plans. But it would totally explain why in the second half we're so much better. It's because the coaches can start coaching and making the right adjustments, okay? So it's pretty interesting. Now, here's a few things leading up to this game I want to talk about. Zach Cunningham looks like he is going to play. He tells Jeff McClain, I'm for sure playing Sunday versus Cowboys. It was a big miss not having Zach Cunningham out on the field, okay? It really was. We need him. And I'm looking forward to seeing Darius Leonard play, okay? Too. I think Darius Leonard is going to be better than people think he's going to be. Also, Tim McManus wrote this. Eagles veteran cornerback Darius Slay knee rest sitting out practice for a second consecutive day. There's optimism he'll play against the Cowboys from what I understand, but with Thursday's indoor practice and Sunday's game on turf, they're giving him light work. So they're resting him, but they're optimistic he's going to play. I didn't know it was even a risk he wouldn't. That would be a big loss for us. Well, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, because the way they use their corners, but we need him to play. We got to win this game. And I got to say this too. That, I love what A.J. Brown said. They want to come steal this from us. They want to come take it from us. That's the mindset you should have had versus the 49ers. But I'm glad the Eagles have it. I'm feeling better and better about this game as the week goes. Well, everybody's crying about this and that, and while the media is attacking Jalen Hurts, and they, I still that David Carr thing. What the hell? Come on, he had planned to attack him for weeks. He was just waiting for a loss. But with all that stuff going on, I think this team is 10-2 still. They're resilient. They don't lose 2 in a row. And I'm feeling better and better about this game. And here's another reason maybe you can feel better about this game. Get this. Eagles Nation wrote this. John Hussey will be the head referee of Sunday's game against the Pound Cowboys. The Pound Eagles are 7-0 when he referees, including last year's Monday Night Football versus the Cowboys and the NFC Championship game. In those games, the Eagles were penalized just 6 times compared to 21 for their opponents. I'll take it. As long as he doesn't have a twang, I'm good. Because let me tell you, if the Cowboys are playing and you ever hear the head referee get on there and go, number 72 holding, but it's like, with that twang, like, hey, cow, poke, patang, patang, patang. They got that twang, and they're refereeing a Cowboys game, it's over. You can't win against a referee coaching, a referee reffing a Cowboys game that has a Southern twang. It don't work. So he must not have a Southern twang, which is good news for us. It is really good news, okay? This is going to be a great game. And I got my preview prediction video. That will be out tomorrow. I will not be streaming Thursday game tonight. I actually am taking my cat to the veteran. He got the father cat, the dad, the big guy. He got whacked in his eye by one of the other cats, and it's getting infected. So this was the only day I could get in. My daughter's like all really worried about him. So I'm taking him, and I can only do it. The only time they had was like when the Thursday night football game's going. It stinks anyway. It's a stinky game. But we'll be doing like the doubleheader on Sunday. So look for that. Okay, look for that also. Finally, we're all waiting to see what Zach Ertz does. Is Zach Ertz coming back to Philly? That's the question. There are 3 teams that look like are in on it. The Eagles have already spoken to him. The 49ers spoke to him, I believe, yesterday. And then the Baltimore Ravens are very interested. I still think the Ravens are the favorite because I think they need him more than anybody. However, I think the easiest transition for him to get in and be able to make plays and play right away would be the Eagles. He knows the coaching staff, he knows the city, and he would have some sort of idea of what we want to do. But we'll find out eventually, I guess soon, what he's going to do. It's going to be either the Eagles, San Francisco, or Baltimore. And then Ndamukong Suh, apparently he's looking and things are heating up for him. There's a chance he may be back as well. All these things we got to keep our eye out on. None of these are going to put you over the top, okay? These are all about depth pieces. And listen, it's about getting to the Super Bowl and be as uninjured as possible. And one of the things the Eagles need to do is they need that bye week. I believe the Eagles need the bye week. They can go on the road and beat anybody anywhere, I think. I just think they need their bye week to rest because I think they're the most banged up. And you know what? When they do that this week, when they go into Dallas and take care of business, I think we'll be well on our way, and I think a lot of people will feel a lot better about where we're headed. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I thought this was absolutely hilarious, right? Vontae Leach, the fullback who used to play for the Pound Texans, said this to David Carr after David Carr went on a rant about why the Eagles should bench Jalen Hurts, who is actually, in my opinion, leading in the MVP race. He said this. He said, "Hey, Carr, you are the quarterback who did not know plays when I played at the Houston Texans. Short memory, huh? Former Pound Texans fullback Vontae Leach has called out David Carr, saying he did not know the plays in Houston despite being the #1 overall pick. And this came in, I guess, response to what he said David Carr is about benching Jalen Hurts. I love it. Shout out to Vontae Leach. You the man. But I'll tell you this. David Carr, he had planned that for weeks and weeks. He just couldn't do it or say it until the Eagles lost. That's how much they hate us. They absolutely hate us. And you know what? We don't care. Denzel Washington out.